Hi, Aquarius. This is your week ahead reading for September 23rd through the 30th from Born Without Boundaries. For those of you who are just showing up, my name is Michelle. Welcome. This is my channel. Please click subscribe. It's that red button below, it's red rectangle below, and ring that bell so you know when I upload all the new content and when I go live. Let's get back to you, Aquarius. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to create and manifest, which is exactly what you're up to. It is like you have designed the world. You have the blueprints, you have the plans, and now you are executing string by string, strand by strand, and plucking those strings to make your own music as you go. You are enjoying every single second of manifesting a purposeful, spiritual, connected life. And you're working to connect others as well. This web that you're weaving connects many different generations. There's almost an extension that's coming from the past through you. The spider, every time I see a spider in my house, I say, "Hi, Grandma," because spiders represent or are messengers, totems from our ancestors. A lot of times it is our grandparents, people who would take care of us, people who would make us things, build us things, weave us things to be comfortable with. It is the fabric of your home, Aquarius, that is the center of your being and soul this week. It is also the center of your imagination and creation and how you're adding to that web, how you're taking all of those things that matter to you from the past and using it as the fabric for how you're going to build your future. What I'm saying, Aquarius, is you find yourself in a very interesting position this week, and that is you are ready to settle down. You are ready to stop hopping from place to place and adventure to adventure. You are ready to build upon those blocks and bricks and portions of what is history to add to the future, to build the future. This is a very proper time for you to be taken over by these impulses, because this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I'm not sure when it officially starts, but I do believe it's in 2020, 2021, 2022. It's close. So this is literally the dawning of. It is the sun rising on this age of teaching people the wisdom in being fascinated with each other, refraining judgment, and just almost looking to learn instead of discern. You're not looking to decide what's right and wrong. You're looking to understand so that you can pass along, incorporating those messages that you learn when you're listening to people, especially the people who are different than you, incorporating them into the fabric so that differences and different perspectives become part of that fabric. You are intentionally weaving in intricately those parts that will enable all of us to be less afraid of understanding each other and reaching out to each other and being connected to each other. You are at the seat of this change, of this sort of world psychological change. If you were an engineer, you'd be building bridges between Iraq and the United States and Afghanistan, and another bridge out to China. You'd literally be connecting all of us, but you're doing it almost psychologically. So for me, this is you taking the example of your life, using some sort of opportunity that you have in your life now to communicate a new understanding and a new way to be to a larger audience. I don't know if you are in the public eye or there is something about you that you use as communications as the center of your job, but this is definitely you making a move to use what you have and the abilities you have to intentionally influence others, not to manipulate. And this is the spider weaving a new home for itself. It will catch flies. It wants to catch flies. It wants to catch bugs. It's almost trying to catch those pests. This is why it's nice. I know people freak out about spiders, Aquarius, but it's nice to find one in your house because they kind of keep to themselves. And you know that they catch all the ugly, nasty pests. So they're really helping. This web is really your way of also not just helping to connect people and psychologies, but your way of catching pests. It's almost like you're trying to catch somebody this week that is a son of a bitch. You're almost literally, but you're doing it in a way that's almost invisible to them, like they can't see. And that's why I started out this reading with the tangled web you weave. The only form of manipulation is how clever, clairvoyant, and transparent the web you're weaving is. In other words, what a perfect trap you're setting for whoever it is that is running amok, being a menace, or doing something that is unsavory to you. Maybe not even against you. Maybe this is a bigger statement, Aquarius. This is a bigger statement, and you're using your platform, whatever platform you have to talk to people on, to literally condition people away from the mindset of this weaker sort of energy that's like floating about you, and honestly you just want to devour it and make it go away. And I really do believe that you have the ability to do that, if not in any other terms, but by being so fascinating, people will pay attention to your message instead of the message of these other pests. This is also about taking care of and finding connection and a means of communicating that is effective. It's like my Charlotte's Web card. Charlotte was extremely protective over something, Wilbur, that was very, very different. He was very different than her, but they had a very loving relationship. And she found a way to use her little body and her ability to communicate to protect them. So Aquarius, I do believe that fundamentally this is you trying to protect. It could be your community, it could be your family, but I don't think it's just for yourself. It's more than just yourself. This is like you expanding outward. And I mean, in full force in Libra season, this is your sister sign, Libra sign. Libra is also an air sign. Of you understanding, it's almost like this understanding of Libra and its desire to connect and think of partnerships is volumizing your desire to think of those higher purposes and bigger purposes and bigger like worldly goals. It's not worldly domination with you. It's worldly ideals. It's global thinking. It's global caretaking. It's things that are extremely important to the fabric of what we need. It's almost like you're dropping pearls of wisdom while you're simultaneously weaving the new world. Damn. Nothing is wasted. This is a card that reckons back to your past. Whatever the things that you've experienced from your childhood, whatever the things that you've experienced even just recently, have taught you a great deal. You may be in an environment or a time in your life that's very different for you. That wasn't a place that you ever thought you'd get. But now that you're here, you're fascinated in the way that only you can be, Aquarius, and you're taking all of that information and using it to enable yourself to create this life that it's almost like, I have to say, it's almost like you're you're planning as you go. It's not even necessary. It's almost like you've always had these ideals, but how to actually manifest and build, you're sort of building as you go. It's like playing a game of chess. You have to watch to see what the other move is for you to adjust and comprehend like what your next, and decide what your next move is. Yes, you can have a strategy in your head, and I'm pretty sure that you do, but you also have to have that element of improvisation. And this is saying that you are finding a way to use everything, every bit and piece. Like you're taking every opportunity that you can to be heard, and you're using it. Like nothing is too small. You don't judge it. You're finding even the tiniest little tidbits, picking off those bones. You're finding opportunities in places other people don't see them yet. And you're using it to get ahead, and you're using it to cast your web into the future. This is interesting. White Raven, trust in the magic. Are you a new parent, Aquarius? Are you just having a new baby? Are you trying to get pregnant, or are you starting something new? I guess esoterically speaking, this new world, this new community effort, these new ideas that you're manifesting as your baby, but this is actually physically like rebirth, a new life. This isn't necessarily rebirth. This is new life, like brand new life. It could be reincarnated because there's a wisdom here. This is also speaking to spirit, but spirit in the truest, most benevolent way is speaking directly to you and working directly through you. And 6/6 is a love card. So 6/6 to me reminds me of 6 as in the lovers from the tarot, which is the number 6. So I think to myself, and every time you look in the original tarot and you see any kind of 6, there's connecting. There's reconnecting, or there's like imparting, like coming back into connection with other people. So that's why I feel like there could be babies on the way, or some sort of new life that's blooming for you based on your old life. There's this beautiful connective flow, almost generational flow between where you were and where you came from and where you're going. It's like you found a way to connect the old with the new. You may be refurbishing something. You may be taking something that was in the past and deciding to reuse it or repurpose it, or like I said, refurbish it, like bringing something back to life, like in terms of not wasting something, restoring an old house, working on your house. It could also be working on a relationship, restoring an old relationship. This could suggest that somebody it's not necessarily even just somebody from your past. It could suggest, Aquarius, that somebody that you thought was gone for good is not. They're re-emerging, and they're probably re-emerging because they see that you need them in some way, or that you needed, like they wanted to share. They want to give you something. They want to give you something that maybe they haven't had a chance to give you. This is interesting. Life is speeding up. Oh, damn. All of this motion looking backwards, and now we have, so if this is a person, Aquarius, this is somebody that it's almost like, it's almost like a time warp. It's almost like this project or person took you, sucked you in, pulled you back, and now you're flying forward. And I think you're flying forward together because, and that's why I asked if anybody's pregnant. Here is this DNA, these two helixes swirling around each other and almost bursting into life. That's why I asked if anybody was having a child, or anybody is starting, or maybe even getting married, because there's this interesting like connectivity. But it's also what I saw in my head, Aquarius, was that, you know, that meme that says the arrow gets pulled back before it's launched forward. And that's what I'm feeling. It's like here's your arch, here's your web almost pulling back to push, like to catapult something forward. There is an aspect or energy from your past, from your ancestry, that is almost like wind beneath your wings. Maybe it's an idea that you had from a long time ago. Maybe it's an idea that somebody that you loved had, but they never get a chance to fulfill it. So you're actually taking those dreams and taking those wishes and launching it forward, sort of on their behalf, in memorandum for them, but also like to honor them, to honor their contribution, but also, Aquarius, to honor who you are and yourself. It's almost like in fulfilling their dreams, you're finding these whole other dynamics inside of yourself, and possibilities and potentials. And you're using all of that information to sort of launch yourself forward. Know your worth. Yeah, I think people are taking notice. This is a card where it's almost like either something's stinking up your life or you're making a big stink. So what this does is tell me that, Aquarius, it's almost like you got the whole press junket lined up. You got the PR ready. Like you have so much confidence in what you're doing, you are going to literally advertise and market the crap out of it. Or you're going to spread the word and scream it from the highest mountain. There's no way that you're going to keep this under wraps. In fact, you're almost so happy about it and so proud of it, you can't wait to tell the world about it. This is something that gets the big announcement. It gets the big podium. I really, from last week's reading, it was a little bit, there was an also indication of a big announcement, and I feel like it's launching. It's this week, or it's definitely launching in Libra season, where you're prepping for it, you're building for it. It's almost like you're building your campaign platform. Could be a marketing campaign, could be a strategy, but this is like a big release. You're building something that you it's like you don't even know that you're fully ready for it, but you don't even care, because you know that you'll be able to handle the situations as it comes. Like I said, part of your recipe is improvisation. So it's like the spider weaving their web. They know which strings to step on, right? So you're sure. You don't need a map. The map is in your head. You're totally confident with your direction right now, and you are going to like make a big stink about this. You're going to, if it's something that's pissed you off, if it's conflicts or complications, you're sticking up for yourself. You're not going to let it get in your way. You're fighting it. You're fighting it until you win. That's it. Or, and I think mostly this is it, it's not conflict at all. It's something that you've prepared for. It's something that you've looked forward to, and it's something that you very much want to take off the ground. And you're getting together this week the bits and pieces to sort of announce it to the world and reveal it to the world. Freedom is yours. This is a very Aquarian card. It's all about, I almost feel like you're finally free of having to keep this a secret. It's like you've been holding back an announcement or news on something, and you don't have to hold it back anymore. It's like you're finally, and you're really, I'm telling you right now, you're so proud of this that you have not even liked keeping it to yourself, because you want to share it with the world. You feel like it makes the world a better place. This is 3-3. Also counterparts. I have 6-6 and I have 3-3. So I have a doubling. I do honestly feel like there's some sort of, like there's either some sort of, I'm so sorry about my allergies. There's some sort of doubling, which is why I said replication or replication. You could be making many different products. You could be making many different units of something. You could be making many different not versions, but like replicating, like putting out a product. You could be it could be in sequence to something. Like I said, something that had happened in the past. You're taking it and you're continuing that sequence. You're continuing the story. I'm seeing that you're really like you can't wait to sort of be free of the burden of keeping it to yourself. And this week, you're not going to have to keep it to yourself anymore. You're going to sort of be released. This is like the big release date for you. Aquarius, I'm going to dive deeper with tarot over on the other side. Hopefully you'll follow me over there. If not, I will see you next week.